Hey people, how are you? You are watching Taboo Talk with Thea. I'm your girl Thea. Thanks for tuning in and watching today. So, y'all, I got a good topic for you. Today's topic is going to be sexual pleasure and masturbation. What you know about that? This one real grown, y'all, so I'm just going to tell you right now. If you ain't ready for this, don't turn it off. Just step away and listen, because you're going to step back in and start, tuning in even more, okay? So, today, sexual pleasure and masturbation. Why in the world did I pick this topic? I picked this topic, y'all, because obviously I think it's taboo. It's not something we talk about enough. Please do think back for me. When, as a child, ladies, did you hear people talking about masturbation? Guys, you can weigh in on this one too. Actually, I want you to weigh in on this one too. Think about that. When did you hear people talk about masturbation? Guys might have actually heard, men is my guess. Women, I'm going to guess you didn't hear much about it as a child. What about when you got older? Did people talk about it then? Your girlfriends, aunts, not uncles, aunts talk about it to you girls, right? Moms, grandmas, did anybody talk about you enjoying sex or masturbating? So, if you didn't, let's have that conversation now, okay? Because I want to have this conversation. So, look, where did this start for me? For me, I sold Pure Romance for years, and it made me a little bit more intrigued with sex. Let's put it that way, right? Pure Romance, if you don't know what that is, Pure Romance is a company that employs consultants, and they sell adult products. The adult products range from lotions, potions, toys, and books. And as a consultant myself, I would get hosts, right? You, any lady, basically, because it was women only parties. You as the host, you would gather all your friends together, a bunch of women, and, in one place. And I would bring all these adult products and we'd talk about them. I would put them on display, let people smell them, touch them, try it out for, depending on what it was, not try out everything. But, and we would have a whole bunch of fun. It was so much fun. I might actually go back to doing that. So anyway, we had things from the lotions and potions, I would say, let's say lotions that may have heat up, right, for a massage. We had gels. We had lubricants. Some of these items may have been edible, different flavors so that they could be licked off of you if you preferred. We had different types of toys, from bullets to dildos to vibrating toys, a whole range of things. Butt plugs, that's another story. We also sold books. The books I really enjoyed. I like reading books when I have the time. And I made it a point to read those books. And those books range from, different positions. It talked about the woman's anatomy, even men's anatomy. And it even told or talked about ways to help you reach a climax, an orgasm, if you want to call it. So doing Pure Romance was very enlightening. It was very educational, and it was tons of fun. So with that being said, I told you a little bit of how we did the setup, right? I would come in, bring all the products. You'd have all your friends there. So I do my presentation. Once the presentation was over, the one requirement that we had as the consultant was that I needed to have a private room for the customers to do their ordering, right? So after the party, I would go into the room, give everybody order forms or whatever, and they would choose the products that they wanted, and they would come into the room where I was privately and order, and more than likely I had the products on hand. They take their bag and leave, right? Pay for your stuff and go. Well, in that room, it was a whole nother experience. We had fun, while I was doing the presentation. We laughed and played games. And everybody was, typically open, and, the best friends were, what are you going to get, and this and that, and they be having these different conversations. Well, when we got into the private ordering room, it was a whole different story, okay? Honey, sometimes the best friend would, ask, well, what are you going to order? They wanted no part of telling their friends what they were going to order, because sometimes it was some of the freakiest stuff, okay? But I wasn't judging, honey. I would tell them, if you got any questions, ask. If you like to have any suggestions, ask. And, I was open and honest about whatever I knew. Some of the products I had tried, probably most of the products, but don't tell nobody else. So, hey, if you're a consultant, you're supposed to be able to explain how to use the stuff, what's good, what may not be so good for certain people. So you had to try stuff out, right? Don't judge me. So anyway, they say whatever you do, honey, be the best at it. I'm just saying. So in that room, though, it was also interesting that I got asked so many questions, and the questions never cease to amaze me, okay? I mean, people would ask questions from, what they should buy, obviously, and, maybe they were having an issue with dryness during sex, so I would suggest a lube. Maybe they had downtime where they were not sexually active but wanted to, so I would suggest a toy. Why not? Satisfy yourself. People might ask about whether or not I had products that would help them have an orgasm easier, or help them have an orgasm for the first time, right? I got asked a ton of questions, but with that, it really let me know that there was so much that women were not experiencing. Y'all, we had babies. We're sexual beings. Why aren't we enjoying sex to the fullest, huh? So listen, I found out so many things. This was a must share, period, point blank, okay? If you're not listening closely, this is where you want to tune in for sure. So let's really dive into this. One of the questions I got was about orgasm. How do you know if you're having an orgasm? What is an orgasm? Let's start there. I found a definition for y'all. I did. So the definition I found that I really liked, that I could relate to, was this one. A climax of sexual excitement characterized by feelings of pleasure centered in the genitals, and in men experienced as an accompaniment to ejaculation, and for women, extreme wetness, right? So let me say that again. The first part, a climax. Y'all, think about a movie for a minute. When you say the climax of the movie, what is that? The height of the movie, right? Where it got real, real good. The movie already may have been good, but until it gets to the climax, it ain't real, real good. You know what I'm saying? So with that in mind, a climax of sexual excitement characterized by feelings of pleasure centered in the genitals. That means, yes, it's going to feel good. Yes, you're probably already wet because you've been having sex, or you've been stimulated, let's put it that way, right? By something. This could be foreplay. You may be wet before you actually have sex. So, if you reach a climax, I'm going to call the girl's vagina, for now, the magic box, okay? Ladies, when you get to a climax, the magic box feels like there was an explosion there, okay? There is an explosion that happens in the magic box. That's an orgasm. Yes, your legs might shake. Yes, you're already wet. I wouldn't necessarily call those things by themselves an orgasm. Those things can happen leading up to it. It can happen during, and it can happen after. But unless you feel an explosion in the magic box, I wouldn't call that an orgasm. Okay? So if you don't know what I'm talking about, keep listening, because we're going to help you get there. Okay? I ain't going to do it for you, just so you know. You're going to do it yourself, possibly. And after you get this information, you'll probably be able to help your partner get you there, too. Okay. Okay. This is the grown folk information, y'all. This that grown folk talk. I told you now, it's taboo. You might not have heard none of this before. So, that definition, there's got to be a climax, okay? You got to get to a height, and it's going to be all in the general area. It ain't got nothing to do with no legs, no arms, can't breathe. You know, all of those things might happen, but it has to be an explosion in the magic box, okay? And after that explosion, men would be, men, when they have their explosion, they ejaculate, right? Women's explosion, I would say, is even though you're wet, you're going to be extremely wet. It's like a baby wave comes through there. You're going to feel the wave, and it can come out too. Okay. It's enough that if you sat down, you can create the wet spot, period. Don't get caught in the wet spot. Don't sleep in the wet spot. It ain't so good. So anyway, that's the orgasm. Let me tell you, some of y'all, I'm an 83 baby, so some of y'all might be able to relate to this, but my mom was not one to talk about sex at all, okay? I remember actually asking my mom what orgasm was. I just thought about that, okay? I was probably about 10 or 11. My sister is 12 years older than me, and she was watching Jerry Springer. And I remember hearing somebody say orgasm, and I didn't know what the word meant. And the fact that I always have loved, vocabulary, definitions, that kind of stuff, I was very intrigued. I was surprised that there was a word I didn't know what it meant. So I asked my sister, well, what does that mean? And her being my mom's daughter, she didn't answer. She told me to go ask my mom. And I just assumed that she didn't know what it meant herself, right? I didn't think anything of it. Fine, I'll go ask mom. I go in my mom's room. Mom, what's an orgasm? My mom paused. She probably really didn't know what to say, y'all. Do you know what this lady told me? She told me that it was a body part inside your body that had some important function. She was describing an organ, okay? Not an orgasm. She was trying to be funny. I wish I could have teased her about that later, but anyway. So she clearly didn't tell me what an orgasm was, right? So nevertheless, to say, my mom never had a conversation with me about orgasm, touching yourself, masturbating, anything like that, right? My mom's way of having a sex conversation with me, I remember my mom telling me, before you were 18, you better not get pregnant. This was the sex talk, y'all. Don't get pregnant. Don't play footsies with boys. Anything you do with a boy can get you pregnant. And you won't be in my house if you're pregnant. If you get pregnant, she told us to leave a note on the door saying, "Ma, I effed up and I'm gone." That was enough to scare me straight, okay? Ain't that crazy, y'all? But hey, it worked. It was enough to scare me straight. I ain't bring no babies in my mama's house before 18, okay? I actually waited until I was probably 28 to get married and have kids first. But anyway, it was enough to scare me straight. So nevertheless, we didn't have sex talks, period, okay? So this was very taboo to me, this, orgasm and all this stuff. So fast forward back to the parties. Women did not know. And these women that were asking me these questions in the room in private, I mean, some of these women had multiple kids, had been married, some in relationships with multiple people or relationships for years. They were experienced women asking these questions. So it made me dive a little deeper and say, what? I was surprised that so many women didn't know a lot about sex, a lot about their bodies, a lot about masturbation. So I figured this was something we had to talk about, y'all. So what I also noticed was that masturbation seems to come with a sense of shame for women. Why is that? We bear the children. We all know we having sex. Why? What is that? What is there to be embarrassed about? Are we embarrassed about knowing your own body? Is that what it is? To say that you touch yourself, that does not mean that you're desperate. It doesn't mean that you have nobody else to touch you, okay? It doesn't mean you're lonely. It doesn't mean anything or anything like that. If you ask me, it means that you know your body, okay? It means that you know what it takes to satisfy you, possibly, okay? Some grown stuff, okay? It lets me know that you're mature enough to have that conversation. If you can't even, let's say, have a conversation about sex, how mature are you really, right? Would you tell a person to put on a condom if that's what you require, but they don't like it? Think about that. We learned wear condoms in school, right? What other way do you have to protect yourself during sex? Not everybody is clean, or not everybody is going to come out and say, hey, I was doing a little itching yesterday, right before they have sex with you. Who does that? Nobody. So let's be for real. You want to have safe sex, number one, right? But you also want to be able to enjoy it. And hey, why not have some of the best experiences possible? So back to the women. There seems to be a sense of shame that comes with it, embarrassment. We want to keep it secret and all of these things. And, even when we have toys or we want to please ourselves, it's nothing to be ashamed of, honey. You are grown. You are allowed to do that, period. Okay. I also realize that men don't have this problem. Men have no shame in their game, period. Okay. I hear men tell me how often they masturbated as a child. Okay? Now, I think it's hilarious. I hear, from what I understand, and men weigh in on this, tell them if I'm lying or not. I hear men, once they found out that they could ejaculate, once they found out what that thing between their legs did, they wanted to do it every day, period. If not a few times a day. Okay? Now, women, did you do that? Did you ever, number one, touch yourself enough to feel like something came out of your magic box and it felt so great that you wanted to do it again and again and again and again? Well, I did. I ain't gonna lie to y'all, but that's another story. But I think a lot of women don't. A lot of girls, and I kind of think that this is I won't say I believe that there is a huge correlation in masturbating and having an orgasm or reaching the climax during sex. So let's do a little comparison. Like I said, men I'm going to call them pro masturbators. Did I make that word up? I'm going to call men pro masturbators because since they were little boys, they've been jacking off. Period, y'all. They jack off daily. So just think about it. Anything that you did every single day, you became great at, right? So they are pro masturbators. Are women pro masturbators? I don't think so. Yes, some women do it. And the ones I think that do it tend to keep it in private. They don't have conversations with their friends or their daughters or anybody to say how great the dildo was last night, right? Or, how it's been a long time since they had sex, so they finally decide to satisfy themselves. Or forget having a man right now or having a partner right now, for that matter. Maybe the safest way for somebody who's busy and been working, they got a toy laying around, a dildo, a bullet, whatever it may be. They may choose to satisfy themselves and not even have to worry about any diseases or any protection, right? Hey, it's the safest way, I will tell you. That's another thing. And you can't get pregnant. You can't get caught up at 40 having another baby, okay? Okay. Anyway, but men, another thing, men are not embarrassed by it. They have no shame in their game, as I said. They will tell you that they have masturbated multiple times. Listen, if you have a son, you might have caught him and didn't even realize it. Walk in his room early in the morning or late at night when he think nobody else is coming in and see the cover moving. His hand is up under there. What are they doing? Heck, it might not be your son, okay? It might be your mate. It could be grown. Hey, any age, it's nothing wrong with it. I'm laughing, but it's real. Any age, it's nothing wrong with knowing your body and knowing what it takes to get you there. Okay? So, I also wanted to tell y'all, let's see. I don't want to forget nothing. Oh, so we talked about orgasm. Okay, let me at least mention this. If you're having sex and you feel this extremely sensitive stimulation, right? You got touched in the right spot. You got licked in the right spot. You got hit in the right spot. We have to be vocal sometimes during that time, y'all. Tell your partner, don't stop. Keep that going right there. Be vocal. Don't be scared. Tell them. You got to listen. Closed mouths don't get fed, right? You got to tell them. Here's the other thing with masturbation. Ladies, if you masturbate, you will realize what it takes. You'll learn your body. Let's put it that way. And you'll realize what it takes for you to get to the climax, for you to have an orgasm. You can do it yourself. And I truly believe from experience, that once you do that, it also makes it easier for you to be able to help your partner get you there. Sometimes people put all the pressure or blame on the partner. Like, well, I've never had an orgasm. This person can't make me come. Well, can you make yourself come? Have you ever did it before? If you can't do it, how can you be mad that somebody else couldn't do it? Okay? For real. So, you know what we do to fix this? Try it. Get you a toy. Get you a bully. Get you something. Use your finger. You don't have to buy anything. You have the tools that you need right here. The guys will tell you, hello, that you have all that you need right here. Your hands. You don't even have to buy lube. I don't want to lick my finger for y'all, but that's all you got to do. A little spit will do the job. A little spit shine. Spit and shine her up. Okay, now let me say this too, in case you don't know. Men, I'm talking to you too. If you want to stimulate and get your woman there orally, this is in a book too, by the way, y'all. You know, the hidden gems are in books. Read them, okay? Anyway, if you don't, I got some of it here for you. But a woman can be, let's put it this way. If you lick your lady, magic box, you can get her there. Help her sister out, right? So women, orally, you need to stimulate the clitoris. You know, that little part that's up at the top that stick out between the little lips on the inside at the very top. That's the clit. Men, you need to, and ladies, if that's what you're doing, whatever, you need to stimulate the clitoris, okay? That's how you get the woman there. Hey, make it like a scavenger hunt with your tongue, okay? See if you can find all the cracks and crevices and make it a conversation. You know, it don't have to be a conversation in the moment, but the way you conversate in the moment is oohs and ahs and yes. Right there. That's what you got to tell them, right? So they know not to move. You don't have to go into deep, but men or your partner, they need to hear that. That's a way that you can guide them to get you there even faster. Then you making their job just a little bit more easy, right? A little easier, not a little bit more easy. But really, you can make their job easier and help you get there faster. Now they feel empowered like, oh yeah, I know what I'm doing. I can get her there. And then listen, after you've got to had that orgasm, after the magic box has exploded multiple times, because by the way, men explode every time, ladies, right? Men, and if you didn't know this, I don't want to leave this out. Most women are not having an orgasm. Now, it doesn't mean that you did anything wrong. She might not even know her body. She might have thought she had an orgasm and didn't. She might have enjoyed the sex, but still didn't have an orgasm. Y'all ain't hear what I said. I'm going to say it again. She might have enjoyed the sex, but not had an orgasm. Ladies, I'm still talking to you. Hear me out. Okay? There may have been nothing bad about the whole experience, but she still may not have had an orgasm. Majority of the time, women do not have an orgasm during sex. Men, every time. Hello, ladies, that's something we can learn from men. Now, we might say we know a lot, but that's one thing we need to learn from men. How to have one every time. Every time. Who is such a release of... it's a nice release. I'm telling you, it's something you want to experience. If you haven't before, honey, you want to experience. So take my word for it, honey. Drop some notes in there, comments, whatever. If you got some questions, I would gladly answer them for you. Okay? I don't want to take all y'all time up today because I can't talk about this for a while. I'm going to double check and see if there was anything else I wanted to tell y'all. But I will say this. Whatever you do, you're supposed to be the best at it, right? So if you're going to participate in sex, make the sex the best. Okay? It's nothing wrong with that. Pick up a book every now and then. Look, there are books that tells you different positions that will help you get to the climax or have an orgasm easier. It tells you, different products that you can use. It tells you different ways. It tells you how to be stimulated. Oh, and the other way that a woman can have an orgasm is through penetration, right? Penetration, I will tell you, ladies, is a little harder. So it can happen, but it's a whole different feeling. Honey, that's why I call it the magic box. Because women, we are so magical. We have such beautiful powers. And our bodies can do such wonderful things, right? Men, honey, y'all better explore it. Explore it. Because the best thing that you can do is explore with your lady. And the more you satisfy her, you'll be surprised what she'll do for you now. I'm trying to tell you, you better take my advice. Okay? You better take my advice for it. So, let me think. Anything else I want to tell y'all before I get out of here? I do want to say for sure, if you like my video, hey, like it. Please subscribe to the channel because I got some more topics to come up or that I'm going to share with y'all. My next topic actually is going to be colorism. It's Black History Month. Why not? Let's talk about it. We need my people to get closer, to be more strongly united. So that'll be the next topic, okay? But, honey, I want y'all to enjoy your sexual encounters, okay? I want you to be clean. So if you do use toys, make sure you clean them well. Any questions that you have, I won't hesitate to answer them. Again, drop them in the comments section and I will definitely reply. I just no longer want women to participate in sex and not know that there are greater things than just the participation, just the act of sex, okay? And one thing I forgot, beyond the orgasm, once you get there, ladies, did you know it's something else you can get? Y'all ever heard of squirting? Tell me that you done heard of squirting. I know mass of y'all haven't. Don't even lie. Don't feel bad either. I know a bunch of women ain't heard of squirting because y'all ain't even had no orgasm. If you ain't had an orgasm, you ain't never squirted. Okay? Okay. So listen. You want to get there. If you get this feeling, this sensation that feels like you have to pee in the middle of sex, let that pee go. Let the pee go. I was told this before. Let it go. Seriously. I was told, let it go. It's not pee. No, y'all, seriously, it's not pee. It's called squirting, and it is magical, and it's beyond an orgasm. So, honey, listen, we can have this conversation live. I think we should. I might redo this topic and do it live. Y'all tell me if y'all would come tune in, okay? So, listen, again, like, subscribe to the channel. I love you, people. I hope to see you again. I hope you enjoyed the show. And I'll see you again. Today is Wednesday. I said Wednesday and Sundays were going to be my day. A sister was a little down, I'll tell you, for over the last month, honestly. It was my mom's birthday. It was also the day that my mom passed away, was within this time period. So it was a little rough for you, girl. But you know what? This is therapeutic, me talking to y'all and seeing y'all comments and all that. So please keep bringing them. I appreciate all the love, the responses, good and bad. And guess what? I'll be back. See y'all again. Have a great day. And if it didn't start off good, make it a good day. Peace.